Good evening. Hello, 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 hello. How's it going? How are you? I hope you're doing fine. Welcome to the Hobby Corner. My name's Kev, and this is another spontaneous live stream. Um, I've been wanting to do one for a little while, and I thought I'd take the opportunity because the kids went to sleep quite well. Um, so I got everything out, got set up. I'm on my corner of the sofa, so I'm still doing the whole corner thing. But yeah, in this live stream, I thought I'd be a bit mental, get something done that I've been meaning to do for a little while. So I'm going to be doing a live sort of read through slash review of issues 13, 14, 15, and 16 if we get time. Of the Mortal Realms magazine. Blah, blah. Mortal Realms magazine. I'm quite far behind on it because life gets in the way and stuff, and it is quite hard to do a review, then a build and paint thing, and then a playthrough in a week per issue. So I might have to give up doing the playthroughs and doing a live thing like this to do all the reviews in one go, sort of thing. If we do get time and I smash out these 4, I've got more to go, so might as well. Anyway, let's have a look and see who's in the chat. So first of all, we got Lupus Canis. Good evening to you. You keep your towel where you are, mate. Right? You don't put it on the lounger. The sign's up saying don't leave towels on the loungers. Okay. You do that, you lose the lounger. Don't break the rules, mate. Alright, otherwise you get kicked out of Benidorm. Alright, we've got Manticore Miniature Painting. Good evening to you, good sir. Nice to see you. And also Richard Smith, my #1 fan. How's it going? It's fantastic to see you guys. Please do make sure that you hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe and share to all your friends and family. Let the good news spread about the Hobby Corner. Also, if you get time, there are ways of supporting the channel. If you fancy getting copies of these issues, there's a link in the description below to Forbidden Planet, where if you bulk order them, you end up saving quite a bit altogether, because they do the issues at 50p cheaper each, and they'll only ever charge you a maximum of £5.50 for the delivery fee. So even if the issues haven't come out already and you pre-order them, as long as you order more than 11, you'll start saving money. It's a win-win, really, especially if you got like an issue like this one where you got the what are they called? Dreadblade Harrows, that's it. Because you're gonna need more than 2 of those, aren't you? So order like a few of those, and of course I get a little kickback for that. And then there's a link to the store, so you can get yourself a very own t-shirt or your very own mug. Yeah, I got my water in this one. And if you ever get time, check out Mr. Pickles' one as well. I got my tea in this one. Haha. Still got to get myself a Chilean Wargamers one and a Frost and Fists one. But I'll get round to it eventually. So, that's all the formalities out the way. And yeah, shall we get to it? So yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Let me know in the chat how you're doing. And we'll get crack into it, shall we? Ooh, hang on. Let's do this one. There we go. Alright, let's get this cable mess out the way. There we go. Right. So I've already opened this one. Oh, that'd be very kind of you, Mr. Manticore. I really appreciate that, mate. Every penny goes straight on the channel. So, it won't be wasted. And it will be to provide better equipment and bits and pieces like that. So yeah, let's get cracking, shall we? So we have issue 13, and on the cover it says discover the forces of order, paint your Sigmarite mausoleum, and new rules to play through. With this one you get the medium dry brush, which is quite a few quid. You get the Abaddon black base and the Mechanicus standard grey base paints. So you do make a saving with this one. I did stop myself from building the mausoleum from issue 11, I believe it is, because I wanted to wait until issue 15 when you get the rest of it, build it all together, and then paint it all together. So yeah, that'll be coming along soon. So let's have a look. So we got our little introduction here, a bit from the publisher and all that, and then they jump right into forces of order. So in the internal battle, the forces of order will always stand against the darkness of chaos. They protect the 8 realms from madness and misery. They live by the rule of law, and duty and oaths bind them. They guard the cities of civilization against whatever horrors the dark gods unleash upon them. Boom, boom, boom. So you got the Hallowed Knights here, which is a pretty cool chamber. They go around shouting, "Only the faithful." I heard one audiobook from them, and it was actually really, really good. And they were just hanging out with Manfred von Carstein. Just like, yeah, we'll help you out. Got a bit more on here. What is it? They're just going through the different factions, really. I mean, they're not saying that just because they're part of the Order Alliance, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily good. But they are there to sort of protect civilization against forces of chaos, essentially. So you got the Sylvaneth, you got the Stormcast, you got the Carrigan Overlords. You got the Dark Elves, whatever they're called now. They just released the Lumineth lot as well, the new High Elves. The Ideneth Deep King, which is the soulless fishy elves and all that. And of course you got the Cities of Sigmar as well, which is a conglomerate of different races and you know, just the leftover bits and pieces which you can field as a mixed army, which is quite cool actually. And the possibilities of what you can field is limitless. So you can really do a lot there. I'm using the Nighthaunt as a base for my armies on parade board. Nice! Can't wait to see how that goes. Keep us updated with that. If you want to hit me up on my Instagram or Twitter or whatever, then, or even go on the Chilling Wargamers Discord, then yeah, share it, man. Love to see that. So Cities of Sigmar. Throughout the mortal realms there are many cities, each populated by mortals from many different races. Most of these huge metropolises have been constructed around a realm gate and are great centres of trade. They are known as the Cities of Sigmar, and each has its own army, tasked with defending the city from any force that would threaten it. These armies are often made of elves, or elves, however you want to pronounce that, humans, Duodin, and even the Sylvaneth. This combination of races, each with their own method of fighting, makes these armies deadly indeed. Yes, it does. And also very fun to put together. Some of the conversions I've seen are amazing as well. Right, then we've got Blizzard of Blight. So I haven't actually read this, so we'll have a quick blaze through it, and because of course I don't think I can read all of it, otherwise I might get a strike, but we'll do what we can. So in the thick winter snows of Giran, which is the realm of life, the Hallowed Knights fight to free a grove of Sylvaneth from the grip of the Chaos God Nurgle's foul corruption. In the midst of a terrible blizzard, the allied forces of order battle the disease-ridden followers of the plague god. Alright, I think we get the gist of that then. So yeah, I can't read all this out, but these are usually really good little stories, and it's what I call toilet reading. You know, like in the time that you sit down and do what you got to do, you can read through that and enjoy it. This is another example of toilet reading as well. So Rise of the Wraiths Part 1. During the necroquake of Shaiish, which is the realm of death, Nagash witnessed the terror caused by the Nighthaunt. He had discovered the perfect shock attack force to unleash upon his foes. Alright, so this is going to go into more detail about utilizing them and putting them into force, and examples of how they were used. Like here, 2 great waves on Nighthaunts assaulted the Stormcast Eternal's defences at Vandium, each nearly destroying the foe. Had they attacked together, the Nighthaunts would surely have triumphed, but their lack of coordination allowed the Stormcast Eternals to regroup and drive them off. So it's saying how they were they're really, really effective, but they were incoherent, and that's when Nagash sort of thought, you know what, I need to create a Mortarch to lead them and utilize them, and then maybe they could be more effective. So it gives a few more examples of all that as well. Oi, Robert, how's it going, mate? Hope you're well. Alright, so we got Sigmarite Mausoleum. So the bits that you do have already from issue 11 goes over the brushing thing. You got your medium dry brush as well, which you will need. But you can use it as a base brush, because it doesn't matter how neat you are when you base the paints on larger things. So you go through all of that, and then you paint all this black. Alright. Kantar blue on the brickwork as a dry brush. Okay, and then you dry brush again with Corax white. It's not bad. It gives an effective paint scheme, you know, from arm's length and that, which is all you really need. And then of course you dry brush Corax white over the Mechanica Standard grey. That looks alright. It's not too fussy, and then eventually you'll fill in the details and stuff like that. So in later issues. So yeah, it's a pretty good base as well. Still got all this stuff on the sprue. You ain't the only one, mate. I'll get the sprue out now. Where are you at? There it is, from issue 11. So I'm waiting until I get to issue 15 before I do them all together, and then painting them all together. So yeah. Alright, guys, set the gates. So this is our playthrough, issue 13. The item the Nighthaunts seek has been discovered, a magical staff located in the depths of one of the mausoleum's many tombs. The Stormcast Eternals intend to hold the gates against the swarming Geists and prevent them from laying their chill grasps upon the object of their desire. Ooh. Pile of shame. You don't know, mate. Look, right, I've got up to issue 16 there. Got a couple more issues there just in case I get time. Got a whole box full right there. Got all that in that package. It's building up so fast. There's just not enough time in the world, is there? Exactly. Gotta have a pile of shame. Sorry for the slurping. I'm just enjoying my nice cup of tea in my brand new pickle jar mug. So big shout out to the pickle jar Josh. Okay, so we're having a look through this playthrough quickly. Alright, so the setup is quite simple. You've got the Briar Queen and her Thorns, Castigators or Castigators, and the Night Quester, and you've got to stop them getting through the fence, is it? What is it? You now have several heroes and units with special abilities, such as the Night Quester's Sigmarite Shield. Make sure you reference their War Scrolls, blah blah blah. What does it say here? Units with missile weapons must be able to see. Okay, so you're practicing a line of sight with this one as well. You got your Ren stuff, how to make your attack. So it's going through all of that as well. Allocating wounds, and the step by step there as well. Oh, Mighty Joe, how dare ya? How dare ya? I'm already ahead of you, Josh. Got mine right here. Mwah. Yeah, no, Robert, that's the problem. I've had that happen twice already. When Age of Sigmar dropped, I was so for it. Like, I proper dived into it. It had its teething problems, but I was a big fan of narrative-driven gaming anyway. So the fact that there was a lack of point system and all that, I wasn't too bothered by it. But you had little competitive systems sort of spring up now and then as well, which Games Workshop sort of borrowed from. But no, I really dived into it, and then I got a bit carried away, and I've got a massive like box full of models, chaos models that I've never used, never will use, all put together. Some of them base sprayed. I need to shift them desperately, just to make room. I'm never going to paint them all. But then, like, I got really into it, sort of played it a bit, and then, what was it, 8th edition 40k dropped, and I kind of just pushed that to the side, dived right head forward into that, and then and then before you know it, you had Age of Sigmar 2.0 drop, and I was just like, oh, okay, push that to the side, play this. It's a terrible cycle. Alright, so let's get back to it, shall we? Okay, let's get this up. Oh, see, you're all looking at it through rose-tinted glasses, okay? Guaranteed, if you play the system now and then compare it to the system from then, and you play that previous system now, it's all going to be just as bad as each other, really. Right, so we've got our War Scrolls for the Briar Queen and the Thorns, the Night Quester and the Castigators. You also got other rules sort of explained here. So you got Ethereal, which means you can just float for anything. No, sorry, that's Fly. Ethereal means you ignore any rend profiles of any weapons. Fly means you don't have to climb anything, you just go through it. Sigmarite Shield gives you the reroll on failed saves. Look out, sir, you subtract 1 from hit rolls for missile weapons that target a hero within 3 inches of an enemy unit that has 3 or more models, and running is roll a dice and add the result to the unit's move. Units that run cannot shoot or charge late in their turn. Boom. Done. Oh, thank you very much, good sir. I'd say give it a crack. You know, it's quite fun. It's definitely different to 40k. You have your activations and all that during combat. It's not so heavy on shooting or ranged attacks. It's more about combat, and you sort of got to time it right so you get certain units attacking when you want them to attack rather than being attacked, so they're more effective when they get their attacks out and all that sort of thing. Thank you. Alright, so it goes through the Nighthaunt turn 1. There's a bit of magic being used there, and they did a lookout, sir, and all that nonsense. And then They carry on, get into combat and doing all of that, and then they retreat. So they go through a retreating, which allows you to move vulnerable units out of combat situations in which they are likely to take casualties. It also allows you to clear a path for your more powerful units to charge in and attack. Remember that if you retreat, you won't be able to shoot or charge with that unit later in their turn. Remember that you must be able to end your move more than 3 inches from an enemy unit in order to retreat. Boom. And that's that, and then it just tells you to carry on playing through. But I mean, most of it's gone before turn 1 is finished. Look at that. Most of it's gone before turn 1 is finished. But I mean, there's small units anyway. So that is issue 13, and you know what? I don't think it's too bad actually. And considering that you're saving a bit of money on the brush and paints, yeah, it's got a nice little playthrough as well, so it's well worth the $7.99 price tag. So what do you guys think of that one? I wasn't slacking. Actually had a lot to do, getting the kids started with nursery. What else? We had to get the house reorganized and sorted for our inspection from the rental company, the rent agency, I think it is, because they hadn't done one in almost a year. And of course, pretty much everyone's hoarded loads of stuff, you know, all the way through lockdown, and we were shielding, and we had to isolate 3 weeks before lockdown happened as well. So we were first to go into it and last to come out of it. But yeah, it's a lot better. You can actually walk around, so it's nice. Hey, Frost and Vista joined us. Nice to see you guys. AOS should be scrapped. Bring back Warhammer. You know what? Warhammer was alright, but it got very clunky, and it didn't feel... It was very inflexible. You know, you had your big square units, and moving them around and all that, there was no... It just seemed a bit clunky. You know, like in the real regiment unit, you know, you march forward, and then if you need to go that way, you don't pivot the entire unit round and then march off forward. You just stop your troops, everyone take a 90-degree turn on the spot, and then you march that way. That's it. There was no way of representing that in the game, and having to do the bloody barn door turns and all that, it just, yeah, it got bloated. And of course a lot of people didn't really invest much into it, because, you know, the whole progress of the rules and the models and everything, it was quite slow, and it just died slowly. No, I haven't played historical. I've never had time, which is kind of ironic. But yeah, I mean, no, I do have fond memories of playing it, especially of my first proper game of Bretonians against what was it, Savage Orcs. And this guy had a massive block of 30 Savage Orcs with the big old pike thing as well, and I charged it with 2 units of 14 knights, right? One of which had a paladin, and the other one had a lord and a damsel in it, right? And they both charged into it, didn't break them. Right? I have one unit of halberdier charge in, men at arms with halberds and shields, right? And I'd cast +1 strength and toughness onto them, right? One unit of 20 of those charge in, break them, right? That unit flees. I thought, sod it, I'll run after him. The 2 units of knights didn't catch him. They just rolled like 3 and 4 inches, right? The men at arms not only caught him up and mowed him down, but overran into the next unit of savage orcs they had behind waiting. And they failed their bravery and they fled and got chewed up as well. 2 units of 30 savage orcs chewed up by a poxy little unit of 20 men at arms. After that I was like, do you want to call it a day, right? And he was like, yeah. I mean, there's some good times then. But you know, I've had some fun with Age of Sigmar as well. It's a whole different beast. The way it plays is a lot more flexible, a lot more tactical options, and I think that's what it appeals more to competitive players as well. Is there's so much that can happen, and you got to really challenge yourself at times to get it right. Anyway, I digress. So, I hope you're all comfortable. If you haven't hit the like button already, smash it. And we get cracking with issue 14. Let's get that camera around. There we go. So, in this issue, we get our Dreadblade Harrows, which look very nice. I'm really excited actually about these. I'm sure I've got their base. Oh, I was looking for the bases, but it's on the sprue. You know, like, because there has been like 1 or 2 issues where some people on Facebook or whatever have had missing bases, right? So I'm always paranoid that there's a base or 2 missing, and I just it's on the sprue. But they're lovely sculpted ones. They got great like broken pillars and creeping ivy and vines and skulls and stuff on there, and broken masonry. So yeah, these are beautiful sculpts. It's just a shame there's only 2 sculpts and it's all on 1 sprue. It kind of makes having more of these a bit samey, but I don't think you're supposed to have that many of these anyway, like 4 max. But yeah, they're really nice. And if you're looking for 40k conversions, these are perfect for Mechanicum. Just clip bits out, stick on, like, you know, like you can clip out a leg and put a mechanical leg or whatever. So yeah, they're lovely. So I'm going to put that on there. Hey Nate, how's it going? I use WRG gaming rules for most historical and Warhammer for my fantasy. When they scrap fantasy battles, I've lost all interest in playing fantasy war games. That's fair enough. Alright, that's the tea finished. Right, let's get to it. So we got on the front page Dreadblade Harrows, discover the forces of the chaos, and new rules to play through. So let's smash this out. Alright, so again, you got your little index here, and you got your little introduction here. Never bother reading it. And straight away, boom, we're greeted with the Nighthaunt Dreadblade Harrows. So, Dreadblade Harrows act as officers in the ranks of Nighthaunt. They serve as bodyguards for higher ranking Geists or lieutenants to shepherd the lesser spirits who make up the bulk of each ghostly Nighthaunt procession. Boom. I haven't read this, by the way, but these are all still in the plastic, so this is all like as I read it. So yeah. If I make any mistakes, I do apologise. So yeah, by this description, it does mean you don't really have that many. 2 to 4, 6 at a max, but I guess it's supposed to go well with your what's that chap's name? I think you get him in like issue 18, 19 or 20, something like that, but he's like the main guy on these little thingy. Never mind, we'll carry on. Alright, so Dreadblade Harrows are officers that serve directly under the Knights of Shrouds. Oh yeah, that was it, the Knight of Shroud. Each Knight of Shrouds is the ghost of a military commander who betrayed their people and pledged an oath to Nagash. In life, each Dreadblade Harrow watched its leader betrayal, neither helping nor hindering. Their failure to stop this betrayal has been rewarded with a curse in death, for they are now forced to serve their treacherous lord for all eternity. So there you go, Nagash never missing a chance to make people pay in the most ironic ways possible. And then we got an expedition log as well. I like these. I want to do a whole video of these just back to back. But from Travels in Shaish, an Adventurer's Diary by Tarlach Malthar, or Malthar, I'm not sure how you say his name. But again, I'm going to leave this for you lot to read when you get a chance, if you get a chance, because it's good little toilet reading. Right, over here we have, each one has its own name. Ooh, okay. So we got Malakir Quayle, called Quali. I don't know how you would say that. Quayle. Quali. Quaili. Sounds like I'm a bit Australian there. Malakir Quali. Alright, so he once marched to war alongside Edric Hask, a general of great renown, serving as his lieutenant. That's right, it's lieutenant, not lieutenant, you heretics. In a dozen battles and inflicting great defeats upon the legions of the dead. Fate eventually caught up with Hask and his men as hordes of skeleton undead ambushed their forces. Faced with defeat, the general threw himself upon the mercy of Nagash and was transformed into a Knight of Shrouds. Malakir, who stood by as the treachery occurred, now serves as a Dreadblade Harrow, full of regret for his own action. There you go. So this is going to be something similar as well. And then of course you've got a bit on your Knight of Shrouds as well, which is the chap I was talking about before. So Knight of Shrouds are former generals and leaders who betrayed their own armies, threw their lot in with Nagash, rather than be slain by the endless armies of the dead. They still feel great guilt at the betrayal of their own kin, and they seek the distraction of battle in order to forget the treacherous past. Right. That's that done. Right, we also got Forces of Chaos. Okay, so we're learning a bit more about Chaos here. So the skies turn blood red and gloomy black. Foul winds bring the stench of corruption. Savage war cries fill the air as the tread of countless armoured feet cause the ground to shake. The armies of Chaos have arrived in force, and they want nothing else than to complete their quest of reality itself. Boom. Right, Archaon as well, he explains a little bit about him. So he's the leader of the Chaos Forces, blessed by the Chaos Gods. He rides his three-headed demonic mount, Dorgar, at the forefront of the armies of Chaos. Even Sigmar is wary of his mighty warrior. So when this model came out, there was a bit of confusion about the model because it didn't have 4 heads to represent each of the Chaos Gods. But it was explained in the lore shortly after that Dorgar, which is his demonic mount, it's a it's a shapeshifter. If you read any of the Archaon novels, you'll know it's a shapeshifting demon, and he's Archaon's will forced it into the shape of a demonic horse. So that's why he was always riding a demonic horse. In the Age of Sigmar, it took on a 3-headed sort of form because it consumed the corpses of 3 greater demons. Each one was sent by the corresponding Chaos God to try and take out Archaon. And of course, you know, he slaughtered it, and then Dorgar was like, yummy, yummy. And of course, Slaanesh never had the chance because it was incarcerated by the Elven gods. So there you have it. But he's got all 4 of the marks on his shield, so it was there. But a lot of people cried foul and was like, oh no, they're getting rid of Slaanesh, it's too risque and all that, but I'm not going to get rid of that one. Right, so it goes on a bit more about how the Chaos Gods like to send their demonic hosts forwards and all that. During the Age of Chaos, the forces of Chaos were close to achieving ultimate victory. They had driven Sigmar and his followers from the 7 of 8 realms. Only Azir was safe, and it was in this realm that the survivors retreated. The lands that you should know by now. I have no idea what Kevin is talking about. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, it's got a bit about how the mortals fight for the Chaos Gods, and as well as the demons as well, so I'll pass on that. And then we move on to Stormcast Eternals Part 2, 1,000 Storms. So in the time for Sigmar's vengeance has arrived. Stormcast Eternals thunder into the realms, carried on bolts of celestial lightning in every realm of the blah, 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 blah. I'm good, Philip. I'm just a bit tongue-tied. In every realm, the storm hosts crash into the unsuspecting forces of chaos, tearing down their foul works and constructing towering fortresses in their place. The light of order returns to the realms. So it's a little bit of a... It's not really a timeline, but it's more like a little process of the story. So, again, well worth reading through. You got Tempest Breaks, Vengeance Long Awaited. It's got a bit on the Azerheim hosts about when the gates of Azir opened and they shot out the sky. Besieging the Black Rift of Klaxus, which is in the what's it? The Realm Gate Wars books. So it's a good story. The Solemn and the Dead, Heldenhammer Crusade, and The Awakening. So all good little stories broken down into little bite size. THC ASMR. Ooh, okay. Am I doing a lot of lip smacking? Or can you just like... Here is the sound of me drinking water. Or do you want to hear a slurp? Is that more your thing? Alright, getting distracted. Okay, Curse of the Hunter. Right, so now we're back on battles. So, Dreadblade Harrows haunt the battlefield, disappearing and reappearing as if from nowhere. Wherever the hooves of the mortals fall... my god, where's my words? Wherever the hooves of their mounts fall, the bodies of the dead are sure to follow. Alright, so... Gonna be chasing some people down, maybe. Oh no, it's not. Oh, it's a little story. What am I on about? Alright. It's not a playthrough. My apologies. It's a nice little story. So again, toilet reading. And then something on one of the characters there. So again, won't spoil. Can't spoil anyway because I can't read too much. Alright, well you asked for it. Okay, so oh look, there's a do not do this sign. Yeah, look, see, you push the piece nearest to the pin if you're doing the push fits, okay, or if you've got slotted bases. Don't push far away because you snap the legs and bits and pieces. But look, they're only 3 pieces. Like, actually no, 4, including the base, 5 pieces. It's really easy to put together. So a real easy breakdown on how to build them, and then of course we've got a paint guide as well. So a nice quick easy paint job there. It doesn't look like much there, but again, it's still early days, and you know, once you get some shades on there, some highlights, it's gonna look all right. And then we have our playthrough, the Ghost Riders. So the Nighthaunt have been turned back from the cemetery gates, but they are far from defeated. A more powerful foe has arrived to turn the tide of battle. Appearing as if out of thin air, a pair of spectral riders in ragged cloaks charge towards the Stormcast Eternals. Okie dokie. Alright, so in this one you got your 2 Dreadblade Harrows, you got your little trusty Gryph-hound in the middle there, and you got your 5 Castigators all the way back there. So you'll be using the entire board length that you got from a previous issue. And then of course we got our little reference sheet here with all the war scrolls. So as you can see, the war scrolls are really filled out now. So by now you would have got used to how they look and how to use them. And then you got little keywords here. So Dreadblade. The Dreadblade's damage value is increased by 1 if the Dreadblade Harrow made a charge move in the same turn. So that's cool. Multiple weapons. Some units have multiple weapons. They can attack with all of these weapons during the combat phase. Resolve attacks for each weapon separately. So the Dreadblade Harrows have their Dreadblade, and then the horses have their hooves and teeth. Fair enough. So they get quite a lot of attacks per model. 3 attacks from the Dreadblade, 2 attacks from the mount. So they can put out quite a bit of damage, really. And then the damage value of the Dreadblade is increased by 1 as well on the charge. So on the charge you can have a possibility of 6 damage rather than 3. And of course an extra 2 from the mount. Not bad at all. Darting attacks. Whenever a Gryph-hound attacks, it can make a 6-inch retreat move after it attacks. And they have been resolved. Fair enough. Alright, so that's all that really. And then of course they play through it all. It's a nice easy playthrough here, giving you an example. Showing you here that you can split your weapons fire as well. So that's handy to know. The Dreadblade Harrows are used as separate units in this, so that's another interesting thing to keep in mind. And then of course that's the end of that. So the oldest has just woken up. He's not well at the moment. He's got a bit of a cold. He's all stuffy, so he's waking up during the night. Poor kid. Anyways, so that is issue 14. What do you think? I think it's alright. You get your money's worth with the models alone. And the content in there is quite good actually. Plenty of lore in there. Plenty of fun to have. So yeah, let me know what you think. And we're just going to have a quick break before we start on issue 15, because I need to hydrate, otherwise my throat goes a bit funny. So they are nice minis. I mean, maybe you can see better on this camera if you haven't got them already. So even if you don't collect Nighthaunt, but you want to do a bit of conversion work for your Mechanicus or Mechanicum, whatever they're called, they're perfect for it. You know, if you buy like a box of those Mechanicum Outriders, you can include like 1 or 2 of these to bulk them out, and you could just cut and chop bits from each kit, swap them around, a little bit of green stuff, and you got a nice variation there. Yeah, that's because you're a Scars fan. You like going fast, don't you? So yeah, that's that. All right. We now have issue 15. So we've almost been going for an hour now. Not 2 issues out, and we did a little intro. Think we're doing all right. Oh, little man's getting a bit upset. You know, I think the music stopped, didn't it? It did stop. Oh, there we go. All right, so issue 15 is the rest of the the kit for the mausoleum set. It's mostly bases for the gates and the tombs, but you don't have to put the tombs over the bases. You can sort of keep them loose, so you can double up on the amount of terrain you have on the board. So you always got that option there. So I'd say paint them separately, don't glue them on. The only exception to that would be the fencing. So these bases where you got the fences, glue the fence on, because otherwise they're just going to keep falling down. And of course you got your gate as well. Cool little lids on the tombs, so you could do anything with that. You got some random tombstones as well. So if you're collecting an undead army and you want to fill out some units, just pop one of these on a spare base and have like a spare arm sticking out the ground or whatever, and job done, really. Like, this is what we used to do in fantasy. So that's it, right? I mean, it's a good set. It really is. And considering it's split over two issues, you're still getting your money's worth there, 100%. Right. Sigmarite Mausoleum Part 2. Learn about Flesh Eater Courts and new rules to play through. So this is, with this issue, if you're getting yours delivered on the subscription, that's when you would receive your Flesh Eater Courts premium box, which I actually, after doing this issue, I'll crack out and have a look through. So yeah, let's get through it. Yeah, alright then. So got a little intro, blah blah blah. Let's move on. Children of the Storm. There have been many occasions when the various storm hosts have fought alongside one another, particularly during the Realmgate Wars. It was common to see Stormcast Eternals armoured in the various colours of different storm hosts fighting shoulder to shoulder. Whilst some rivalries and grudges have been established between some of the storm hosts or chambers, all serve Sigma, and differences are cast aside in times of war. So we've got some more examples of the colour schemes, kind of like Space Marine chapters. Each one is forged in a different circumstance, using different types of souls, and from different realms or different regions. So they have characteristics of their own. For example, the Lightning Hawks, named after a bird of prey that lives in Azir. The Lightning Hawks descend from skies without warning to slay their enemies. They are the bane of all that is unholy. The Celestial Warbringers are warriors who can see glimpses of the future. Each of their number claims to have foreseen the exact hour of the cause of their final death. I mean, how emo is that, right? And then you got Anvils of Heldenhammer, which are a bit more well known. They're famed for their black armor. Most of their retinues favor red and white tabards. So they are pretty cool, and of course it shows you how the shoulder badge looks. the design as well of their shield tells you what striking they are. So they were done in what are called strikings, which is kind of like foundings for Space Marines. So the hammer with the lightning tails and the anvil above it means they're from the first striking, and then of course you have others as well with the various designs. Having a look on the back, we have a little bit on these lot as well. The anvils of Heldenhammer all hail from Shaish and have fought many campaigns against the dead. Ooh. And then, in order to wage war against the enemies of Order, the Stormcast Eternals required fortified bases in the mortal realms. The first of these structures were built around realm gates. As the centuries passed, they turned from small forts made of wood and stone to vast citadels that loomed over the surrounding landscape. And of course, they always have their troops there stationed to keep an eye out for them. And it's got some examples here as well. Then we move on to the realms, the Realm Gate Wars. So this was the reclaiming of the realms from Chaos. Sigma sent out his Stormcast Eternals to try and capture as many of the key realm gates as possible. And they even tried to assault the All Points, which is the nexus of all of the realm gates. Like, you, from that point, it's got its own little bubble reality, and in that point you can get to any realm directly. So of course that was a key place. So Sigma's plan to scour the forces of chaos from the mortal realms relied upon controlling realm gates. The portals between realms, yeah, they're just between realms. His first act of war was to send his Stormcast Eternals to seize them. So, yeah, there's a bit more on that. And then we got the Battle of the Brimstone Peninsula, which is basically what was in the what you played through as a campaign for the first starter set. So you had the Hammers of Sigma were the first storm host to reach the mortal realms. Thanks to the heroism of commanders such as Fandus Hammerhand, they were able to defeat the worshippers of Khorne. They managed to seize the Gate of Azir and destroyed the Gates of Wrath, a corrupted portal that led to Khorne's domain in the realm of chaos. And of course, it's got little key points marked on this map as well. The All Points, which is what I was talking about before, hold a gate to every one of the mortal realms. Long ago, Archaon the Everchosen conquered this realm and built a great citadel, the Varanspire, from which he rules. Sigma, desperate for revenge against the Everchosen, sought to have his Stormcast Eternals invade the All Points, capture the gates, and destroy his great enemy once and for all. But he hasn't, because he kind of sucks. And also, it would kill the story if he did. So, you know, got to have a bit of plot armor there. Alright. But as you can see, it's sketched out here. And you've got the All Points. But this is where Warcry is set, in the areas surrounding it. So it's in the All Points, and everyone's trying to get to the Varanspire and trying to prove their worth. And they're all fighting in the landscapes around it. Sorry for that. Okay, and then we got hit this bit on realm gates. So there are many realm gates that link the mortal realms with one another. Some have been corrupted by the forces of chaos and are now unstable and deadly. Others have been sealed in order to prevent foes using them. Those that were recaptured during the Realm Gate Wars were quickly fortified. The Stormcast Eternals have constructed giant storm keeps around most of these gates. In many realms, great cities have sprung up around the realm gates, and they are key trading posts. where goods and reinforcements can be transported from realm to realm. So the major example of this, which is illustrated here, is and it's actually the scene of the first, was it, no, the second Warhammer quest. Bloody hell, I can't remember the name of the city, but it's a twin city. So one part of the city is in the realm of fire. Is it Hammerhal? I think it's Hammerhal. You got Hammerhal Akshi and Hammerhal Gairan, and so Gairan is the realm of life, and this realm gate is a fixed location between both. And they got a massive city on the other side of that realm gate as well. And of course, everything that is lacking in the realm of life is produced by the realm of fire, and vice versa. And they have this very intricate relationship where they provide for each other, not just in reinforcements, but in goods and resources as well. And of course, if one is to fall, then the other one will fall quickly. So, of course, Chaos wanna F that up. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to get that game, it's a good game. Very addictive. So now we come across the Flesh Eater Courts. So, crazed flesh-eating cannibals, the ghouls of the Flesh Eater Courts are led by powerful vampires whose aberrant curse allows them to control their hungry minions. Okay. The abhorrent curse. The Flesh Eater Courts are cursed with an insanity that makes them think they are noble warriors. It was originally a punishment Nagash inflicted on one of his servants, but has since spread. So it's a nasty curse that has spread. They all think they're this nobility, and they think they're acting as such, but in reality that is horrible, gross nastiness that go around eating the flesh off of each other and stuff like that. Yeah, the Games Workshop did make a joke saying that the Bretonnians hadn't left yet, and it has been like hinted quite a lot as well in the here and there in the lore, that the Bretonnians, the nobles, are actually just Flesh Eater Courts now. Which is, it's kind of sad, but it makes, it makes for perfect sense, really, especially if you know how Bretonnia went down in the end times. Right, so Flesh Eater Courts are ravenous and are constantly on the search for new feeding grounds. They're aggressive and territorial and campaign to expand the borders of their gruesome kingdoms. Alright, lovely. So you've got a bit on the different types as well. So you've got the Mordants, which are the lowest ranking members of the Flesh Eater Courts. They form up in packs to better hunt their victims. They are more savage monsters than true soldiers, but they are all utterly devoted to the abhorrent master. Every Mordant hopes to impress their leader and climb the ranks within their gruesome court. Cool. I got the bones and stuff jutting out the back. Lovely. And then we've got our courtiers here. So Mordants who impress their noble master may find themselves invited to join the upper ranks of the aberrant court. They have been granted the honour of feasting upon their master's blood, and their power has grown as a result. Mordants hold the courtiers in great regard, and swarm and scurry around their feet in deranged adoration. Grand. I can't wait to read more on them. They sound absolutely delightful. The perfect dinner guests, wouldn't you say? Okay. The Court of the Cannibal King. Alright, so is this a nice little... Yeah, it's a nice little story. The anvils of Hammerhal strike at the heart of the Flesh Eater Court, hoping to destroy the creatures once and for all. Oh, okay, so more toilet reading there. Got a little bit on the anvils and got a little bit on the retributors as well. So all good reading there. Then we get down to painting the rest of your Sycamorite mausoleum. Groovy. So it's all going to be basing, dry brushing, simple enough stuff, but once you've got it all together, should look something like that. Not bad actually. It's nice and simple, and of course later on you can go back and you can paint some of the other details in. So yeah, not bad at all. Right. Oh, did it freeze a bit? Or was that just on me? Alright. And then we got another playthrough. So, Charge of the Harrow. So, the Nighthaunt continue to arrive on the battlefield in droves. More chain rasp emerged from the hills of Barrows, led by ghastly dreadblade harrows mounted upon ghastly steeds. Thankfully, the Celesta Ballista has been wheeled into place and is ready to fire. Ooh, okay. So again, we're using the full extent of our map that we got. In this playthrough, we introduce a new concept for your missile weapons: range. Because before, you weren't far enough for range to be a thing. You always played on half of the map that was provided, but now you're using the entire thing. You can now measure out your range. Units equipped with missile weapons can only shoot a certain distance. We will show you how to measure your shots and make sure your targets are in range before you start rolling any dice. Great. We've got our updated war scrolls here for the castigators: Dreadblade Harrow, Celesta Ballista, and the Chain Rasp Horde. And then we got a little playthrough as well. It's showing you, because the little range finder thing that you got only goes to 12 inches, it's showing you how you can measure further by just putting your finger down. So you need a model's eye view to make sure you can shoot. And then of course you've got your other keywords here and how battle round plays through. And then of course you got your little playthrough. I like how they've given you like a hint how you can protect some of your units as well. Like here, you've got a Dreadblade Harrow run and then hide behind one of the mausoleum buildings to protect it from the missile units. So like you're moving your chain rasps over as well. So yeah, it's and then it's showing you how you can get your ranged units around to negate that. So it's always showing you the different tactical options that you have as well, which is great. And there you go. They play all the way through, and then that's that. That is issue 15. So that's another good issue. I have to say they've learned a lot of lessons from the Conquest magazines, and these seem a lot more coherent. There's a lot less mistakes. Actually, the mistakes in the issues have been very minimal. I think there's only been a couple. Yeah, well, I'm happy with this series so far. But what do you lot think? Let us know. So let's go back to my face. Here's my face. So what do you lot think about that one? I know me talking for so long must be sending you all to sleep, especially at 10 o'clock on a Friday night. Which of the 3 issues has been your favourite so far as well? Yeah, that's a good one to ask. And you let me know while I get refill, because whole throat's going. I'm not used to talking this much. I rarely ever talk. I more do grunts and stuff. I'm like, alright, hello. That's about it. So getting to use my actual throat and using my actual face to talk to the actual people online. Bloody hell. It's a stretch, I'll tell ya. Frost and Fist says they like the death horses. I do like them too. Again, it's just a shame that there's only the 2 sculpts, but and painting and you chatting in the background. Favorite one so far, the one with the cav dudes. Awesome. Or as Dr. Horrible might say, bad horse. Alright, so next up is going to be issue 16, and we actually get more dice. What? Because of course you can't have enough dice. But before I do that, I am going to get a drink because my throat's going a bit. Elston! How's it going? I was just grabbing myself another refreshment this time. Double strength, blackcurrant. You just missed, we've gone through 3 issues so far. Each one has been a whirlwind of excitement, twists and turns. It's been amazing. And yeah, we've just been enjoying it and been enjoying each other's company. So I'm glad that you're here too. And now I'm going to do another live review where I have no idea what the heck I'm talking about because I haven't even read through it yet. But let's see how it goes. Ah, there was me panicking for a second, but I remember I got 2 of the bases because they fell out. So yeah, 2 of the bases did fall out, but luckily they fell out after I had taken it out of the package. Like the parcel thing that they came in. So there's the 5 bases, got 6 new dice, and this sprue is from the starter set, so it's still a good sprue. You got what was it, 3 sequitors, 1 with a great mace, and 2 castigators. Can't go wrong. Fill out those units that you got. So I'll pop all that to the side. And just a quick question, can you hear the music okay in the background? I know it's been a bit quiet. I just hope it doesn't override my talking noise level. And then we'll get started in a moment for issue 16. So of course, $7.99 is the price, and in this issue we'll be looking at Sequitors and Castigators. Discover the Celestial Vindicators and new rules to play through. Again, awesome. Thank you very much. Alright, let's dive in. So, first page, just your index and introduction, nothing too much to worry about. And then we look at Storm Hosts, Celestial Vindicators. So the off to a great start. Got a bit of a frog in my throat right now from all the talking. I really got to start talking more in real life to practice for when I'm talking a lot live. Alright, there we go. I hope I sound better as well now. Right, the celestial vindicators are vengeance given form. Their hearts burn with the hatred for chaos that knows no bounds. To witness them in battle is to see a hurricane of Sigmarite break upon the enemy. Alright, so got a little bit of quick detail on them. So their war cry is, "We fight, we kill, we win." Alright, okay, back off a bit, mate. Alright, Chambers of Renown. They got the Bladestorm, Wraithstorm, and War Beasts. And then specialities, Warrior Chambers, Great Heroes, Thostus Bladestorm, Ortus Drakehewer, and Tharos Soul Warden. And Famed Stormkeeps, Thunderheart Bluff, and Fort Scarborough. So these would have been mentioned in one of the books, one of the novels, or the mini stories or whatever. So that's why they're here. But they also might have mentions in the their codex as well. I bet it took ages for someone to come up with that battle cry. Yeah, probably. That's the thing though. It takes forever to come up with all of this, and it takes only a second to just tear it down. I mean, like, what fascinates me, like, if you haven't watched the little interviews that they do on the Warhammer community channel, Warhammer TV, sorry, is the amount of work that goes into just the little details. Like, you see this, just this bit here, probably took someone, say, the best part of a week to come up with it, to do several drafts of it, then to get the go-ahead for, to colour it in, and then they probably scrapped a few of them before they finally settled on this design, right? Yes, Warhammer TV is the thing. Check out YouTube. They do, like, every week they have an interview with one of the people who work at Games Workshop. But yeah, all this little detailing, and in all of their books as well, they got all these little minute details that take hundreds of hours to do, to fill out a whole book. And it all adds to the aesthetic, but you don't spend a lot of time just staring at it, do you? You don't ever just stare at the corner of a page and just go, you know what? That's goddamn beautiful. You just don't. It's a shame, but it's doing its job, you know what I mean? Anyway, I digress. Look at me, I'll keep getting put on tangents. Right. As mortals, the warriors that would become celestial vindicators prayed to Sigmar while still soaked in the blood of the enemy. They did not pray to be saved, avenged, or transported to safety. Instead, they asked the God King for strength to smite their enemies. Sorry, 1 second. I've been summoned. Sorry, the wife wanted to know if she could walk past noisily and grab herself a drink. So, yeah, obviously I'm gonna allow her to hydrate. I'm not mean. Sideline to tangent. I wonder how that happens all the time, doesn't it? Alright, so they were not granted their vengeance there and then, but snatched up to the heavens. Since that day, they have become part of something much larger, the raging typhoon of war that Sigmar unleashes upon his enemies. Oh. Alright. Can't say that. Alright, so they go on about the heraldry as well. Hang on, my camera's been a bit skewy. Right, so they got the heraldry here as well. So that's what the prosecutor would look like. The liberator with the shoulder guards there as well, and the adjudicator prime. And then you got a little bit on one of the Lord Celestants, Thostus Bladestorm. So he was once the Lord Celestant of the Bladestorm Chamber and one of the greatest warriors in the 8 realms. It was he who found Sigma's hammer, Galmaraz, in the eldritch fortress of Anvrok. He was eventually slain by Archaon the Everchosen, whose steed, Dorgar, devoured his corpse. His body and soul remained trapped in the beast's belly. So that's a pretty crap way of going, really, isn't it? Yeah, that's right, man. Okay, the Sterndrang Gates. Uniquely, during their forging, the Celestial Vindicators have to pass through the towering Sterndrang Gate. Braving the black fire of this portal is a painful ordeal. Only souls whose hatred burns hot can hope to survive. Many do not return from their trials. Those who do make it through are given a small amount of the holy rage that smouldered in the heart of the God King during his long wait for vengeance against the dark gods. Cool. And then there's a bit on the sacred sword as well. How they believe that the sword is a sacred item. Okay. Groovy. Now we move on to Nighthaunt, Rise of the Wraiths, Part 2. Okie dokie. So we have the search for a new Mortarch. Nagash's new army of vengeful spirits required a leader in order to marshal them into an effective army. The Mortarchs are Nagash's top lieutenants, powerful undead leaders that have been granted a sliver of the great necromancer's power. All command their own undead legions, and all wish to wield still more power. Despite the talents, they were not the right leaders for the Nighthaunt. Nagash decided loyalty as well, since only Arkan the Black served of his own free will. During the Necroquake, the Nighthaunt have been a power that needed to be harnessed and guided by a trustworthy and competent leader, directed by a commander gifted in the military strategy and psychological warfare. They could blah 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 blah. So yeah, wow, that goes on and on. So eventually he settled on Lady Olinda. But you got a little bit on Neferata as a Mortarch of blood. Neferata is responsible for spreading corruption amongst mortals. A sisterhood, necromantic cults and vampire covens can be found across the mortal realms. Manfred von Karstein, the Mortarch of Night, is a cunning military commander and schemer. Nagash calls upon Manfred to make gory examples of his enemies and to undertake missions that require a certain amount of devious cunning. Ooh. And then we have Arkan the Black. Arkan is the only Mortarch that Nagash truly trusts. Known as the Mortarch of Sacrament, he is often tasked with empire building, finding ways to expand the borders of Nagash's realms. Boom! That's that. They go back a long way. And then of course it goes on with the story saying how eventually they settled on Lady Olinda. And how she's used the Nighthaunt to do her stuff. Boom boom. Okay. The realms fighting fury with fury. The eyes of Tzeentch are everywhere, watching every one of his intricate plots unfold. He's a bit of a weirdo. At the height of the Realmgate Wars, the Celestial Vindicators assaulted the Eldritch Fortress in the ruins of the shattered city Elixir. Alright, so that's another little story there. So again, I won't spoil the stories. But we got the Eldritch Fortresses was constructed to the exact specifications of Efrix, the ninth disciple of Tzeentch. It is a colossal fortress with a metal heart and walls clad in skulls. It is shrouded in powerful magic and capable of striking at those who dare to assault its towering walls. Bum bum bum. Alright, and then of course we've got a little build guide here. So they're pretty quick and easy to do. You can do little subtle conversions, you know, turning the heads. If you want to do a bit more braver stuff, you can cut hands and stuff like that. I'm sure there is an easy enough way of getting the massive hammer and putting it on the prime, because of course the prime gets the extra attack, and of course you want to have your primes have the better weapon, of course. So, and then a quick paint guide as well, so everything that we've done so far to get them up to here, but we're doing a little extra detail on your existing collection as well. So we're going to use the Abaddon Black to fill in some of the leather straps, like the guards here as well. The hair, I guess that's the hair, some of the hair, I don't know. Zendria Jurbolt gets that sort of treatment, and little details as well. And then of course the Celesta Ballista gets a fair bit coloured in with the Abaddon Black as well. So you can spend quite a lot of time doing that, but that's why they do it in stages, because you know they expect you to have only about an evening or two free during a week, you know, a couple of hours at most. So these little tasks that they give you, you know, you should be able to fulfill in that time. Right, now we've got a playthrough, Delving into Darkness. Zandria Azurebolt has made her way into a dark tomb that glows with arcane power. Somewhere in the depths of an abandoned mausoleum lies a magical weapon steeped in death magic. The geists that are within will not let her retrieve it without a fight, however. Okay, so you got your nice little introduction there. Yeah, it is a really good way of getting into the hobby. It doesn't overwhelm you. It gives you plenty of lore and stuff, and it, you know, for people who are in the hobby already, there's still information in here that they might not even know. So you know, it's a good all-rounder. For existing hobbyists, it's a good refresher. It's a good way of getting models on cheap. And it's a good way of pacing yourself and giving yourself targets to complete every week. For new people, it's a great way of just getting into it. So yeah, it's an all-rounder really. Exactly. Can never learn more too much lore. Right, so for this one we go back to the small cutout mat. And it's the Briar Queen and the Thorns against Zandria Shawbolt, but this time you're using all of the rules that you've learned so far. So she's going to be a lot tougher to kill off this time. But we'll see. Look, the War Scrolls have expanded exponentially as well. So she can cast a spell. She's got rules to dispel or unbind spells. Void Storm Scroll, automatically unbind a spell once per game, so that's handy as well. So that makes her a little bit tougher to kill off. She's only 5 wounds, 3+ save, 5 move, and 3 attacks, but each attack does D3 damage with a -1 rend, which doesn't come into effect because these are ethereal, so they ignore the rend. The Briar Queen, of course, can do her magic as well, and she can unbind a spell. What was it? She's got the Rending Scream, which is a nasty range attack. 10 inches, 3 attacks, -3 rend, 1 damage each. You know, that's going to make her save up to 6 save. That's horrible. And then it's got the Briar Whip as well, which is a 3-inch rain 1 attack thing, but it does -2 rend and D3 damage. In one turn, the Briar Queen can kill Zandria Shawbolt without the help of the Thorns at all. So it is always going to be a tough game for this character. And then of course you got these chaps who are just regular. They're just regular chain rasps essentially. Nothing too special. Right. So we got a reference sheet here with all the rules and stuff. The turn, how the turn goes. And then of course how to measure and stuff like that. Showing you that, you know, you can make the most of the space that you got and move around if you can. Yeah, there's nice little tips and tricks here. It's showing you a rangefinder as well, which isn't too expensive. You can get pretty damn cheap as well. Yeah, no, yeah, it's pretty good. How quickly does it end though? The battle continues. The battle continues. Oh, it actually sees a turn 2. Crikey. And then, of course, you got more war scrolls here, so you can expand. You can chop and change units in it and see how you do. This is interesting, though. You got cutout wound markers, and you got the cutout rangefinder. So I assume you cut it out, stick it either side. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it'd be better if they actually included real ones, but hey, it's not bad. And that's that for that issue. So issue 16, full of surprises. So what did you think about that one? It was nice to learn a bit more about the Mortarks. And what else did we get on? The Celestial Vindicators. I kind of like their paint scheme, but I'm not really into who they are. The bad thing is I've got the entire Realm Gate series, like the books, and they're in limited edition hardback with gold on like edge pages and that. Haven't cracked them out. I'm too scared to ruin them. But they weigh a ton. They're all still in their the little boxes that they came in as well from Black Library. One day I'll get around to reading them, but I've got so much to catch up on. This is not enough time to do all the reading, is there? But yeah, let me know what you think about that issue. So that is issues 13 to 16. Been doing it for an hour and a half. I don't feel I could talk anymore, even if I wanted to. But you know what? I'm going to do a bonus thing. Vindicators are quite cool, aren't they? Right, so if you bear with me for a moment, alright, I'm going to treat you guys for staying with me for this long. I'm going to treat you. Alright, so just give me a moment and I'll be back with you. Right, I'm back and I got a little treat for you. So, I was holding this out to do a video on its own, but I don't think I'm going to get time, so I might as well smash it out now. And this is the premium kit, the first one. Now, if you watched any of my preview videos that I did quite a few months ago now, I went through all the price rundown and what you're going to get and all that sort of thing. These are an amazing bit of value. It's £2 extra per issue. You get 4 of these over the entirety, so I figure you're looking at like 40 quid essentially for the entire lot, but you get anything between, I think it was like 70 odd quid to 90 odd quid per box of models and paints, and then you get a little book and stuff inside. So this is your bonus, alright, for sticking with me. So enjoy this. They learned so much from the Conquest series. It's amazing. Do I miss the having the box? Not really. Do I miss the hard boarded playmats? Yes, because they were good, and if they had included that with this, then it would have been perfect. But the fact that you get a whole new like mini army to play with its own book as well, it's pretty cool. So let's get cracking, shall we? So in this one you got your flesh eater courts. So we got a little book here. It is actually like a full issue really, but it's done in the style of a book, and it tells you what's coming in the next, the premium issue 2, which is the Sylvaneth, and then of course you're going to get the Auric Warclans and then the Blades of Khorne after that. So I'll pop that there. Got the Euphonian Camo Shade because you don't need it in the Mortal Realms like magazine series for what you paint, but you do need it for these. So you know, something cool. Now this is the Aberrant. I can't remember what it's bloody called now. Let's see if it's in there somewhere. The Aberrant, the Abhorrent Arc Regent. That's it. So the Arc Regent is quite a fancy model. For a little while, it was only available in a limited run box, and then it was like 6 months before they released it as an individual thing, which was just before this magazine series started. That's a 20 quid model just on its own. Right, so you already got half your value there, but then you got these Crypt Flayers as well, so you get 3 of those, which are quite big kits as well. Don these, I think is that 40 or 50 mil? That's a 50 mil base as well. So these are packed full of detail, and then of course you get your fodder here as well. The Crypt Schools or whatever they're called. Yeah, Crypt Ghouls. So you get a fair amount of those as well. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Got all these bases anyway. But so the models alone, that's it. You've made your money. Okay, throw in a paint pot, you're laughing. Right. But then you get this issue as well. So like I said, it's like it's kind of like an issue the way it's put together and that, but it's put together like a book as well. So have a look in it. So of course you got your little intro and everything, and then you've got your part 2 of the Flesh Eater course. So in every corner of the realms, nightmarish tales are told of the Flesh Eater courts. Mortals driven mad by hunger, these cannibal cults live in the shadowed ruins of their towns and cities, surviving on a diet of rancid flesh and bone. When drawn to war, they will feast upon the bodies of the dead. Nasty, gruesome things. The artwork is absolutely amazing, though. And as you can see, just by the index as well, it's a lot longer than a regular book as well, magazine. You got your extra content there. It's great. Okay. The Carrion King. The Carrion King was once a servant of Nagash until he fell from favor and was cursed to become the first aberrant. Nagash imprisoned him, but the rebellious ghoul escaped and spread his curse to others, only to disappear during the Age of Chaos. Though he has not been seen since, Nagash still hunts for the Carrion King. Ooh. Nasty creature. Alright. We've got more on them as well. The Aberrant Archregent. Or Archregent. Each Aberrant Archregent sees itself as a regal king or emperor. In truth, they are the cursed, twisted heirs of the Carrion King. Each is capable of slaughtering their way through an entire army. It is through these creatures that the Carrion King's curse is spread across the realms. Blech. Again, the artwork is crazy good, you know. That's amazing artwork. And of course that's what you kind of aim for, to get it painted up. And look, even more great artwork there. This artwork is of the throne, the Carrion Throne, which is only not that long ago been released as an actual thing that you can take for the army. One of those faction specific terrain pieces, which is cool. And then we've got a bit on Crypt Flayers. So Crypt Flayers and Crypt Infernal Courtiers haunt the night skies, soaring above the battlefield like dark shadows. They swoop down with lightning speed, snatching victims from their feet. Nice. I mean, they look a bit chunky, to be honest, to fly on those wings. But, you know, magic and all that. And it's got even more on that as well. A nice bit of artwork of them just hammering away at some corn worshippers. And then we got our bit on Crypt Ghouls. The stinking drool drips from jaws running across rotting fangs. Crypt Ghouls and Crypt Ghast courtiers howl and hiss their loyalty to their king, even as they scuttle into battle at his command. Lovely. So, I don't know what people like about these. You know, they're not really my sort of cup of tea, but I do remember a couple of years ago, they were like top tier sort of competitive army. Whether they are still or not, I don't know. But I mean, each to their own. So again, you got a bit more on here. Crypt Ghouls are especially deadly in large numbers. A single creature may take its time feeding, stripping flesh from its victim until its prey is a little more than a bare skeleton. However, as soon as there is any competition for its meal, the ghoul flies into a frenzy. With clawed hands, it tears hunks of meat from one enemy before moving on, eager to avoid sharing its food with its crazed kin. A pack of frenzied ghoul can tear apart the remains of their defeated foes in but a few seconds. They're like piranha, really, aren't they? Just running around with bones and horns sticking out of their skin. Cryptghast courtiers poses greater intelligence than Crypt Ghouls, and so command them in a battle on behalf of their aberrant abhorrent masters. They drive the ghouls into the fray, barking orders that result in greater acts of atrocity and bloodshed. Sweet. So what's this? The fock, the the foe. That E. Tell me, does that E look like an E or a C? Looks like an E. Looks like a C, doesn't it? Anyway, the foe, the madness that infects the flesh-eater court, leads them to view any intruders as rampaging barbarians to be cut down in defense of their kingdom. Those who trespass within their kingdoms are likely to be torn limb from limb. Lovely. And then the flesh harvest, as well as devouring their fill of the enemy, crypt ghouls and other mordant collect the blood remains of the fallen and carry them off as offerings to their abhorrent ghoul king masters. Wow. I mean, the artwork has been fantastic. And, yeah, they're really nasty creatures, aren't they? Wouldn't want them round at a tea party, I don't think. Alright, so now we're having a look at building them. So you got your little keys here. So choice of parts, and then of course dry fit first. Tells you what you need as well. So the abhorrent arc region is all on one page, and it looks like a quite easy enough guide to follow. Just make sure you dry fit everything before you glue it in place. And there is this like finger and thumb part that you might need to be careful when you're clipping out. And then we've got the crypt flayers as well. You got tons of options on there to stick on their backs, so you could get a couple of these kits and they wouldn't look the same by much, really. So that's cool. And there's a build for each type, so make sure you don't mix up the pieces, otherwise the I'm assuming it's going to be based on the heads you can swap round, no problem, but the legs and the shoulder joints are specific to the bodies, so don't mix them up. What's the hobby corner Kev tea party look like? Gazebos, sandwiches, sausage rolls, cake, lots of cake, maybe a big jug of Pims, and then of course tea as option. Alright, and then crypt ghouls. Now crypt ghouls, they are quite an old kit, so all of the options fit. It doesn't matter what body part you have, main body part, and what arms you have, all of them fit. So you have a massive opportunity to just have random looking models, you know, they shouldn't look the same. You could have 100, I'd assume you could have 100 and they would all look different, but yeah, that is it. Oh, you can have pie if you want. What, pork pie, apple pie, cherry pie, steak and kidney pie, chicken and mushroom pie. What kind of pie do you want? Lemon meringue pie? Yeah, again, look, there's the heads, all the heads fit the same, all the legs fit the same. You can't mess up that kit. That's going to be the easiest kit. Pork pie. Yeah, you dirty boy. I like a bit of a pork pie now and then as well. Pork pie and those mini sausages, right? That's what it's all about. Riverside dish of pork pie. Okay. Moving on swiftly. So painting them up, it's quite easy. You just base coat them with Corex White. Again, use the spray if you got it. It's a lot quicker and easier. Athonian Chemist Shade the entire lot. Then you dry brush the Corax white all over. And it's got a bit on glazing, so he's teaching you a more advanced painting technique here. So you can get more paler skin, or you can darken certain areas as well. So that's quite cool, actually. They're encouraging you to progress with your painting abilities. So there you go, you can see that there. And then colouring some details, lead belcher as well. Now some of these paints you don't get until later on, so unless you got the paints already, this is going to be something that you'll be doing in the background of the series as you go along, because you will get these paints later on as part of the entire range. So don't worry if you haven't got it already, because you will get the paints later on. And of course that helps you to spread it out a bit more, so it's a lot easier to do. But if you got the paints, knock yourself out. Yeah, so I mean, they come out looking quite decent, actually. And it's all still using quite basic techniques as well, you know, base, shade, layer, or highlight. And you've got your paints list here. So Corax White, Athonian Chemist Shade, Mechanica Standard Grey, Dry Bark, Lead Belcher, Rack of Flesh, Buffsut Gold, Corn Red, Agate Surf Shade, Non Oil, Bright Flesh Shade, Sterling Mud, Pallid Witch Flesh, Baneblade Brown, Wild Rider Red, Administratum Grey, and Stormhost Silver. And it says here you have some of these paints already, but others will come in future issues of Mortal Realms. A set of Citadel skulls for the model's bases will come in a future issue as well. So there you go. And then by the end, this should look something like this, which is a pretty good. Is a pretty good paint job. It's passable on the tabletop. You can always improve upon it, of course. But if you're just beginning with it, and you can achieve this level, then you know you're doing really well. So yeah, and then we got some war scrolls as well. So you got your aberrant arc regent as well. It's got a lot of rules here. It's mad. And then you got your rules here for the crypt ghouls and the crypt flares as well. And then you have your playthrough. This is playthrough. Kingdom of the Cannibals. Zandria Jorbolt and her troops have invaded the realm of the aberrant arch-regent, Gorslak Marrowmore. Enraged, the insane vampire has assembled the court for war. It is a nice force, isn't it? So yeah, it tells you what you need. So you get 20 crypt ghouls in this box. That's quite a fair amount, isn't it? You need your 3 crypt flares and your aberrant archregent. And then for the Stormcast Eternals, you only get a Night Incanter, a Night Quester, 3 Castigators, 1 Gryph-hound, and 5 Sequitors. So you're definitely outnumbered, but it shouldn't be an issue. And then of course the last page, this one, is the throne. The thing that I told you about, that's now actually a purchasable faction specific terrain piece. So you're not worried about what's on the back there, but you just pull this page away and you just sit in the middle of your map. And then of course you play either side. It's got all your stuff here. So the objectives, the Charnel Throne serves as an objective marker for this mission. Victory points are scored At the end of each round, each player adds up the wounds characteristics of all models that were slain during the battle round. The player with the higher total scores 2 victory points. If neither player has a higher total, then you get 1 each. At the end of each battle round, the player that controls the objective scores 3 victory points. If neither player controls the the objective, each gets 1 victory point. Alright, and then of course it's got a maddening aura as well. So the aberrant arch-regent feeding grounds have become suffused with madness. Add 1 to bravery rules for all Flesh Eater Court units, so it makes them a bit tougher so they don't just die on turn 2. So that's pretty cool. It seems like they've balanced it quite nicely. There's an objective to fight over as well, so you got your narrative there. Yeah, I'm pretty damn happy with that. So, and then of course you got those. So that was your bonus. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to the next lot because I've never got Sylvaneth before, so that's going to be new. And I haven't got Oryx either, so getting those 2 is going to be pretty damn cool for me. And then, if I remember rightly, let me have a look. I gotta have a look. Gotta have a look and remind myself of what you get. Mortal Realms Premium images. Here we go. Yeah, so for the Sylvaneth, you get the big witch. I think it's called a branch witch or something like that. You get 5 of those kind of ghosty like dudes, and then you get that weird little character there. The Oryx, you get 5 of those big dudes, a leader and a war chant thing. A shaman, sorry. And then with the chaos lot, you get 10 of those blood warriors, which I already got those. I don't have bloodhounds, but you get 5 of those, and then of course you get I can't remember what he's bloody called, but he's a demon covered in skulls. Not bad at all. But yeah, I did do a video covering all of that, so you know, if you ever get time, check that out. That was a bonus. Well, you're welcome. So yeah, let me know what you think about that as well. As always, sorry, I just had to have a drink again. My throat's starting to go. As I said, I'm not used to talking this much. So let me know what you lot think. I mean, that's a lot to go through. We just went through 4 issues plus a premium box in 2 hours, and I'm amazed you lot are still here. I'm glad you're all still here. I'm really thankful you're all still here as well. It's a big love to you all. And I'm gonna leave it there because I've got to tidy up and get to bed at some point. But anyway, as always, let me know what you think. Do you think it's worth it? Do you don't think it's worth it? Personally, I do. And you know, again, I've gone through the pricing of the entire range, so check out that video. It'll be somewhere. It's in one of my playlists, or you can type in Mortal Realms Premium thing, and I should come up in the top 5, I believe, which is amazing, by the way. But yeah, no, that's great. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the video, share the video, tell your friends and family about it. And if you want to support the channel, there are plenty of ways of doing it. You can donate through PayPal and Patreon. You can go to my Teespring shop, grab yourself a THC shirt. I'm planning on doing some other designs as well. I got my mug as well. So I also got myself a pickle jar mug, so go check them out as well. And if you get time, check out everyone else's. Go on the Chilling Wargamers Discord, and they actually have a channel with all of the merch stores on there for all the main channels. So go check that out. All those guys are amazing. They all do amazing free content, so it's worth supporting them as well. And all it takes is just a click on the subscribe button, and yeah, that's it. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's been scrolling along the bottom of the screen, but there's details in the description below. There's also loads of Facebook groups down there as well, so go check that out. And I've got a couple of affiliate links, so I get a little kickback if you want to order anything from Element Games or from Forbidden Planet. And yeah, I'm glad you lot joined me. Let's have a quick look in the chat. Time to get your cinders done and sleep. Well, thank you very much, mate. Different gear. Oh, you snuck in there, didn't you? Rivets and Dakar. I found this really interesting. Unfortunately, I can't invest the time or money on another game faction. Would love to, but oh yeah, I know. It's one of those things, isn't it? Probably at the end of the subscription, I'll sell off the extra factions, but I'll keep them just to see what they do in the future books, because they might have the small factions face off each other. You don't know. So and by then I would have had them all painted. Actually, I'm not even going to say that, because if you followed my conquest stuff, you know that's a lie. That's a lie. But I'll do the plan is paint it up, sell it. Hopefully people will pay a pretty penny for it, but you never know. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I'm going to leave it there. I've waffled enough. Throat's gone. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Oh, I've clicked the wrong. Trying to do a smooth exit and I effed it up. Fuck yeah. I feel like Mr. Bean half the time. Teddy. Alright. Peace to you lot. Have a good night. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.